Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ifejesuni Adeboye, and I'm glad to have you join us again. Thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed. Thank you so much to everyone who has commented or liked or shared. I'm grateful for your support, and I still look forward to more and more of your support. All right? Yay! So today we will be talking about common myths regarding mental health. So I know that there are so many myths regarding mental health. So people have a lot of that. And we'll be addressing some of those today and we'll be discussing them. All right. Thank you. So I'll be reading from a mobile device that I have here. And yeah, so we'll go ahead with that. Mental illnesses are rare. In reality, mental health issues are quite common. 1 in 5 adults experience a mental illness in every given year. I think the most common ones would be anxiety and depression. Everybody is anxious about how they would survive. Everybody is anxious about what would happen. And then that anxiety leads to depression. People with mental illnesses are violent. That is absolutely false. So, like I mentioned earlier, mental health presents itself in different ways to people, and of course all of those ones is the extreme cases that can become violent, but in most cases no, that is not the case, that is not the situation. You can just snap out of it. You absolutely cannot just snap out of it. You need support of friends. You sometimes will require professional help to help you manage like the situation and manage your emotions in time of like a mental health situation that needs help. So you cannot just snap out of it. Therapy is only for crazy people. That is absolutely false, because it's only when you are in therapy that you realize that there are so many things that you've left unattended to for many years that shape how you are reacting to situations, that shape who you are and what your response is to things that happen around you. So, and it's only in therapy in most cases that you are able to identify these things, address them, and then going forward, you approach life in a different way. So that is absolutely false that therapy is for crazy people. There are different types of therapy. There's one for mental health. There's one to handle with childhood trauma. A lot of us, especially if you grew up in Nigeria, have childhood trauma, and you, if those things are left unattended, they can project themselves in you and how you raise your own children. So every therapy is for everybody and not just the crazy one. They are not even crazy people self. They're just different experiences that people have that has proven themselves in their mental health journey. All right, mental health problems are permanent. No, that is very false, because many individuals can recover and manage their mental health status, right? So it is possible that sometimes some people might require to be on drugs, like to get medical attention to manage their mental health phase. There are some people that would just need like extensive time in therapy, extensive time seeing a specialist. Sometimes it could be lifestyle changes. Sometimes it could even be your eating habits that would help improve your mental health. All right. So it is not a permanent situation. It's not like a death sentence if you are diagnosed with having a mental health issue. It is not a permanent situation. It can be resolved. You can walk through it and become a whole and better and healthy human again. Only certain people are affected by mental health issues. That is very false also, because mental health does not regard age, race, ethnicity, gender, however, whatever. It's everybody has their own experiences with mental health and how it reflects in their everyday life, because there are just so many things that are peculiar to every person that could that could be a trigger for their mental health issues. So it is not just for a particular set of people. It can affect as many people as possible. People with mental health issues are always aware of their condition. That is also not true. There was a time that I was depressed and I did not know. So I just realized that I was withdrawn, I was touchy, I was salty, and then it was just easy to be pissed off. But I didn't really pay attention. I'd been depressed before then, but I didn't really pay attention to it at this time because I just feel like, okay, maybe I'm just, this is my new way of coping with life. Until I was having a conversation with a friend one day, and then I was just like talking to the person about how I was feeling and how I was, well, like all the experiences I was having and all of that. And then the friend pointed out to me that I was actually depressed. So, and this is me being a mental health specialist. This was like many years back, but like this was me. This is me being a mental health specialist myself that did not identify at the time that I was slipping into depression. And so, yes, not everybody who is dealing with a mental health issue is aware about it to now know if they need to seek attention. But what we can do to help people around us, first of all, is basically to be kind. This cannot be overemphasized enough because people are just like on the brink or can just be at the snap of a finger, they can just break down, right? So it's important for us to be kind. It's important for us to be gentle with people. Everybody's dealing with things. And I know that we keep saying everybody's dealing with stuff, everybody is dealing with stuff. But this cannot be overemphasized. Everybody is actually dealing with stuff. And we need to be kind to one another. And if somebody wants to talk to you about something, also be patient enough to them to listen to what they are discussing with you and don't judge them. I know that maybe this might seem like a lot to be asking of us, but I think it's just a basic thing that we can do to help improve, to generally help improve mental health status of everyone that comes across us. Of course, that does not replace the point of seeking professional help or medical help, but in the instance, we can just provide support to people who are experiencing mental health issues. All right. Talking about mental health makes it worse. That is also a myth. That is absolutely false. Because when you talk about something, you realize that there's probably somebody in your audience that also has that experience. There's somebody in your audience that also can relate and probably has gone through that phase and can advise you on what they and can suggest to you what they did and what helps them in that phase. That can help you learn on how to better manage your own situation and you will feel better. Of course, a problem shared is half solved, but it's important that you share the problem with like the right person also. But you don't necessarily have to wait till you're speaking to a professional before you seek help, but you can always just talk to people, are just like random talk to people. But truth is, when you talk to somebody about it, you will, there's the likelihood of you feeling a lot better than you were always feeling. All right. Self care is enough to address mental health issues. Honestly, in mental health recovery, self care is very, very important, but that is not all that would be required. So, as I've been speaking today, I've talked about um, seeking professional help, seeking medical help, but there are some people that would require to be placed on antidepressants to manage their mental health issues at the time. So it's not just self care. So it's not you isolating yourself to say, "Oh, I'm just going to focus on self care," and that would be all I need. Self care is very important. Meditation, exercising, rest, eating well, all of those things are very important, but they are not enough to help you manage your emotions or your mental health status per time in most situations. Okay. There's another myth that says you can always tell if someone has a mental illness. Okay, so it is not unlike physical health, like physical ill health, that there will be the symptoms. There's running temperature, there's fever, there's dehydration, there's all of that. Mental health illnesses are not like that. So they would not present. They most times will not present themselves physically to you. You are unable to say, "Oh, looking at this person, I think that this person is depressed. I think that this person is anxious. I think that this person is dealing with like eating disorder or sleep disorder or this person is schizophrenic or all of that." So you cannot just physically look at the person and then say that they have all of these things, they are dealing with their mental health issues. So you cannot always tell that someone has a mental health issues illness, which is why, again, back to being kind, which is why we have to be kind to people. It is very important that we show kindness, we are patient with people around us, and people that are not even probably like close to us, just generally, just be a generally kind person, because people are dealing with a lot of things and it would not present themselves. You cannot physically see it to say, oh, this person is obviously dealing with this or that. All right. All mental health treatments are the same. That is also a myth, because so I mentioned self-care earlier. For some people, self-care or lifestyle change might just be all that they need, right? Some people who are who are some people might require um, medical help and start to like be put on antidepressants and other drugs that can help them manage their mental health better. Some people need um, to talk to a therapist. So some people need to have like conversations and sessions with their therapist to help them identify what the problem is, identify what the possible solutions are, and they can go on from there. They start to feel better from there. But it's not everybody that comes across us, across our way as a mental health specialist. The person's help is one, just focus on self-care, which is why we said self-care is not enough earlier. So it is not just self-care. You cannot just say, oh, somebody says I'm a gambling addict, or I have addiction, a gambling addiction, and then you say, oh, you just have to. Sometimes self care can help, accountability, all of that can help, but also it might also require like having been in actual therapy, but because this person you then find out what the cause is, why they are gambling, what led them to gambling in the first place, what is propelling them to continue to gamble, what is keeping them in that line. So all of those things need to be identified. So it's not a one size fits all treatment for all mental health issues, and we have to be specific. That's why you need to speak to a professional who would be able to say, okay, this kind of treatment, this even whatever the treatment is, even if it's a lifestyle change, it is not a okay, you just have to always eat before 6 p.m. or all of that. Even with a lifestyle change, it has to be individualized to make it suitable for the person, the client in question. So one size does not fit all for mental health treatments. Mental illnesses are always treated to a traumatic event. While trauma can trigger mental health issues, many factors can contribute, including biology and environment. All right. So many people can say, "Oh, I'm just dealing with past traumas," or of course, there's PTSD, there like anxiety that could come from trauma and all of that, childhood trauma and all of that. But sometimes it could just be a trigger. So it's a trigger for something that is already going on biologically or in your environment. So most times it is not just trauma that could cause. There are many causes of mental health illnesses, and it is not just trauma. Trauma is not just the only reason why that is so. All right, so I've been able to identify some myths around mental health illness, and I know that there are a lot more. If you have more, please write them in the comment section. Let's keep this as engaging as possible. And I hope that with these conversations that we had today, we're able to learn to, first of all, the takeaway I want from us today is to be kind to people, is to show support. Anybody who has come to you to say, oh, I'm dealing with a form of mental health issue or not, show them the support that they require. We can research. There are always materials online to check, to research on how to support people who are dealing with mental health issues. And I know that gradually we would have more and more people who have great mental health, and the world is a better place because of it. All right. That's all for today. I look forward to seeing you join us in the next episode. Until next then, bye. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. Bye.